Hey everyone, it's Lily. So, today I was thinking, and I realized that not everybody really knows what trauma really is. So, when you think of trauma, what comes to your mind? Is it physical abuse? Is it sexual assault? What is it? Everybody has kind of a different mindset toward it. Well, it's defined as a deeply distressing or disturbing experience, like physical abuse, domestic violence, political violence, natural disasters like a hurricane. I have a friend who survived Hurricane Katrina, and that's traumatic. And shootings like school shootings like Sandy Hook or Columbine or the Florida shooting that just happened. So, have you been through a traumatic event? And if you have you dealt with it or are you hiding it? Do you know someone who's been through something traumatic or scary? What do you think you can do to make that event less scary? And while I know that may sound like, oh, it's, not, you can't fix it, you can't get over it, but you can. And I know this from experience. I was 14 when I was diagnosed with PTSD and depression. I know that you might be thinking, oh, it was all in your head, or oh, you made it up to get attention, or stuff like that. But that wasn't the case. I was sexually assaulted by a family member, and I didn't know what to do. And I didn't want to talk about it with anybody. I was terrified. I didn't know how I should have responded. They say that our brains have two fear triggers, fight or flight, but I believe there's three. You either fight, you run, or you freeze. And I did just that. I froze. And shortly after the assault, that family member committed suicide. And that took a huge toll on my family and my relationship with a lot of my family in general, like my mom and my dad. It took a major toll. And the effect that it had on me personally was horrific. If I could go back in time, I would change a lot about the way I responded to this event. I had nightmares, emotional breakdowns, mental breakdowns. I stopped eating. I didn't care about school. I didn't care about anything. I was just broken. I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know what to do. But this video is not about me. It's about everybody out there who doesn't know how to tell about their event. Their tragic, traumatic, horrific event. And I know that it's scary at first to come out with what is going on with you, like why you're not eating, or why you're self-harming, or why you're contemplating suicide. And I know that it's terrifying. I know that from experience, and I know that from seeing other people try to do it. But I've been in support groups and therapy since I was 14. And every time I told my story, it got easier and easier. And it's been almost 5 years since I came out all the way with what happened to me. went to counseling. I've been in counseling, and that is probably what saved my life. And, even after 5 years, I still struggle with it every day. I still have certain triggers, like when teachers talk about sexual assault or sexual harassment or abuse. It triggers me, it does. But I've learned that the more you talk about it, and the more you put it out there, the less that it burns, the less that you feel like you're suffocating. And you don't have to be afraid to tell your story. You don't have to be afraid that nobody's gonna care or nobody's listening, because someone is. I promise you, someone is out there who is willing to listen to you. You don't have to be afraid. And if you're alive to see this video, you yourself are a survivor. You yourself are strong and powerful, and you yourself can make a difference. So, I want to challenge you to contact me or a trusted adult or one of your closest friends and tell them what changed you as a person. What traumatic event did you go through that made you want to just curl up in a ball and not do anything with life? Because I've been there. I don't have a lot of friends. I never really have. But the people I've met in my support groups and just in my therapy itself, they're the reason that my story is easy to tell. They're the reasons that I'm putting myself out there with these videos and my blog that I created that I'm not doing very good on. But they're my inspiration to go into the psychology field and do something with it. They're my inspiration to live out my life the way I want to live it. And I hope that you find that someday too. 'Cause like I said, you too are a survivor.